700 islands wrapped in turquoise dreams. Every voice matters, every soul redeems. With a heartbeat broadcasting truth across the waves. Information, liberation. This is how a nation stays. From Andros to Abaco, a love at a Grand Bahama shore. We're reaching every family, knocking on every door. Not just talking policy, baby, we're changing lives. When social service meets compassion, that's when hope survives. We speak your language, we know your name. Through the airwaves, through the struggle, we remain. Building bridges over water, building trust on solid ground. The Bahamas ministry, where love and justice can be found. We are islands of care in an ocean of need. Planting faith like coconut trees, watching future succeed, watching them grow. Broadcasting truth, serving hearts, making sure you're heard. The Bahamas rises together when we honor every word. This is more than ministry, baby. This is sacred ground. When social services meet heaven, that's when grace abounds.
There's a stillness, there is a peace. It's like the environment that we were born to live in. We're here at the Purses Rogers Home for the Elderly. The elderly is a community where there's a lot of abuse. It is underreported worldwide. I just spoke very recently to a young lady, and let's give some margins of error where sometimes people exaggerate or perhaps there's a mental imbalance. But it sounded to me that this elderly lady had all of her faculties, and she, in just washed away with tears, was saying how the person who was taking care of her was choking her. We're here today under this pavilion, and you know why did I say it's natural? Because we got all the dilly tree, the mango tree, and when we were growing up, that's what we used to do. We used to able to go shallow. You remember that? And from your own yard, get your mangoes, get your bananas. We have the dillies, canaps, soursop, sugar apple. You all remember? Absolutely. And it was a sense of family. And family is really being dismantled, deteriorating in its fiber, in its strength. Love is becoming more and more distant. Can I tell you, just last night, social services had a case where two families were looking for a place to house two different families that lived in one complex. And they didn't want to move together. We could only find one. And they didn't want to move together, even in tragedy. What kind of division? And so the purpose of this program today is really a part two of a response to a young man, Claude Roll, who saw Cyril Knowles fall from his walker. And he began this journey of trying to get him help. 77 years old, living in an abandoned home where apparently 2 people died in it, and I can tell you it took me about 48 hours to have my head become sober again because it was very light. And we made a couple promises, and we said we would do our best to get him out of that abandoned home, and thank God for the people who allowed him to stay. They gave him what he had, so at least he was not exposed, and we thank you for that. And I want you to see what a difference a day makes. My goodness, we did this on roller skates with social services, and we're going to talk to Eartha Shallow, who's the assistant director in elderly, and we're going to talk to Ms. Hall. But I just want you to get a little peek of Mr. Gee, man, he had his cap on, you remember? Last week he had his cap on. Doesn't he look good? How he look, Miss?
Yes, he looks wonderful, wonderful. He looks refreshed, well rested.
How you feel?
Excellent. I feel excellent.
I mean, you have your hair in style, you don't have your little cap on. What was it like coming in and sitting here now?
Well, first of all, I want to thank God for everything that has happened to me and for me. I've had a lot of bad breaks. When I say bad breaks, I had family that wanted no part of me. Because of what? I don't know. I don't know what I did to him. I guess maybe because I had spent most of my years in the U.S. trying to find a life. And when I came here...
Are you saying that you neglected your family? You didn't pay attention?
No, I didn't do them anything.
No, but did you support your family? Did you give them love? Did you contribute? You worked? Did you take care of them? Did you make any provision for them?
My love and response was always there for my family. I came from a poor family. And my mother had 12 children. But she never had a man to help her. My mother had to go in the crab pond and catch crab to bring us up. It was 12 of us. 12. There were 9 boys and 3 girls. And us up today. My mother is gone. My father is gone. My brother, my sisters too, passed away within the last 3 months. And from what I gather, I must say that I am much ashamed because my younger nephews were not industrious enough to make life for themselves, to do things for themselves. Everybody, because of the death of my 2 sisters, flocked in and just came looking for a place to stay. I don't think that is fair. Once a man and twice a child. Once you make that provision of being a man, you have to stand on your own 2 feet as a man. That is what I tried to do when I was living in the United States of America. I worked on 3 cruise ships where I put my age up. At the age of 14, I went to work on the Bahamas Star. I was working at Sheraton, British Colonial as a busboy. And the chief purser came in there one day for lunch. And I spoke to him, asking him about a job. He asked me, he said, "You want to work on the cruise ships?" I said, "Yes, please." He gave me a note to take to the American Council so that I can get a seaman's visa. That I did. From there on, I was working on the cruise ship as a boy. I ran away from home and put my age up and started working, taking the world on my own 2 shoulders, not knowing what the response would end up being. I did that. And today I had to pay daily for that.
But did you send money when you worked on the ship? Did you send money to your family?
I didn't have control of any monies that I made because I was living with my sister, my older sister. And when I get paid, I wasn't man enough to open my paycheck. So she was in control of everything because I was living with her. I had to do what I had to do, whether I like it or not.
You had children?
No, I was a young boy. I was 14 years old.
And then let's fast forward. Once you became a father, did you support your children?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. I never neglected none of my children. I never neglected my children. But, you know, human today are different. No matter what you do for your siblings, they tend to forget. They tend to forget all of what you tried and what you did and what the now situation is. They don't care.
I want to hold that thought right there because I want to, Eartha Shallow, the Assistant Director of Social Services, it's a very powerful point that he's making. What do you see? Do you see parents like Mr. Knowles now aging, brought up their children, and they seem to have forgotten, neglected their parental responsibilities to their mother and father? Or do you see more of parents suffering because they did not take care of their children? What do you see? Describe to us what you see every day.
Well, for the most part, there's a lot of abuse that's going on. It's underreported. And if matters are not reported, we really don't know what's going on there. But we find now that there are a lot of children, there are lots of children that are abandoning their responsibilities as it relates to caring for their parents. And which is, it's alarming. It's alarming and it's disturbing. And I really feel that children, they have a responsibility to take care of their parents. But we're seeing a lot of that where they're neglecting to take care of their parents. I know that there may be limitations in terms of availability of accommodations and whatnot, but there is help. You can come to the Department of Social Services where we would seek shelter or placement for your loved one or whatever. But this just to be realistic, it's just the kind of times that we're living in. Okay.
But a country cannot hold up under the weight of abandonment, of neglect, of abuse. What, Ms. Hall, do you see as the social worker? What is the root cause? Both of you can quickly comment on it. What do we have to, if we're going to uproot the problem, we have to identify it and uproot it at its root. For both of your comments, what do we need to uproot? Because that is not the character of the people of the Bahamas.
When it comes to family dynamics, I believe that these are human beings we're dealing with, right? And sometimes the child may not like how the parent would have treated them. And although parents, yes, you finance them, you clothe them, you feed them, I would think sometimes, how I could say this, it's more transactional almost.
Transactional between the parent and the child?
The parent and the child.
So you're saying there's no bonding of love, it's I'm gonna take care?
No, it's I'm gonna take, if I take care of you, or, no, yes, well, basically, if I take care of you, you should be doing this for me.
So there's no love.
No.
No love.
No unconditional.
No unconditional love.
The love is lacking. It's basically on conditions.
Well, that's not agape love.
No.
Agape love is unconditional.
Right.
And so when you are not bonded, that means you have little to no value of life. So if you can see, and I think you hit it on the head with transactional, because when you love someone, if they are in pain, you are in pain.
Yes.
It's called identification.
Right.
You are identifying, and you cannot see. When my mother and father were down on their dying bed, I could not see them coming in and seeing whatever sacrifices me and my two brothers, Greg and Wayne, had to make. We had to do that to make sure that they had 24-hour assistance in the home. And then we didn't leave that. We took turns in making sure that we were present. Yes. This is not what you're seeing. Because you know why? Because that's what love is. Speak to bonding. And Ms. Shallow, what and how important is bonding?
Oh, it is absolutely important for families to bond together. In times of happiness, in times of grief, tragedy, it is very important. You would have situations where mommy or daddy, they would become ill, needing care and protection from the children. And you will, let's say, have 6 children, 7 children, even if it's 1, even if it's 2, okay? The responsibility of taking care of that parent, it rests on all of the children involved. But sometimes it it doesn't happen that way. You would have most of the responsibility falling on one sibling as opposed to the others, who could lighten the load, lighten the burden by sharing the responsibility, but that doesn't always happen. But bonding, it's important because it would certainly lighten the load, okay, of one sibling. You've seen that oftentimes.
Exactly.
Families.
We're going to take a break, but when we talk about bonding, it doesn't happen if we're not communicating with one another, not in a transactional, conditional way. I love you. This is your vision. You know, words shape our world. If we are not teaching our children to have vision, to see a future of hope, to see a future of opportunity, to take and make the sacrifice to prepare them, we should not have a person in this country that does not have a passport who is of age, because you're telling them one day you're going to help serve the world. Look what Vision did. We are sitting here. One Mr. Roll said, I cannot, because of love for humanity, see Mr. Knowles fall down, children laugh at him, not find out what it is, how did he get here, and then he called on a community to help him get to where he is going. Look at the power of family serving one another. That we got together and created what really is a miracle, because Princess Rogers Homes and all of the homes are full, but it opened up because love opened it up. If you didn't see us last week, you can go online to YouTube, the Bahamas Heartbeat, and see the compelling story. But I want you, as we go out to the break and we come up and close the show, we want you to see what happened. Ms. Shallow, after Mr. Knowles said, for the first time in his life, he called on God, he heard God. Ms. Shallow, a social worker who loves God, bonded with God, prayed for him, led him to the Lord, and then we kept our word. You know what? I want you to go into Ms. Desiree Clark with the NCPD and see how we got the wheelchair, because that was his wish. The Lord gives us the desires of our heart. He had a desire. He heard what he said, and I don't know if you heard this one. He won't work. He don't want to stay there. We'll talk about that later. But we're going to go and look at the NCPD, what love is coming from there. We're going to see how he prayed, and then we're going to come back and wrap this thought up, because this isn't just one family's problem. This is all of our problem. Bahamians, we are born to be the greatest little nation in the world. It's going to take you and I. I can come back to you right in a minute. Remember that thought. Hold it. We'll be right back.
Have you heard about the Promise Unit? The Department of Social Services provides food assistance, housing assistance, uniform assistance, burial assistance, and financial assistance. Promise makes it easy. You can log on via cell phone, your computer, or your tablet. Sign up today at promise.gov.bs. Once you've registered and created a profile, you can call the Promise Customer Contact Center and speak with someone about any inquiries at 1-242-4-PROMISE. That's 242-477-6647.
Billy Graham once said that a good father is one of the most unsung, unpraised, unnoticed, and yet one of the most valuable assets in our society. As we seek to uplift and strengthen family ties, we want to take the time out to praise the fathers who are taking care of their families. Whether you are married or a single father, we want to salute you for taking up the charge to lead, provide, and protect your family. For those who are struggling with fatherhood, all is not lost. It is not too late to be the needed father to your children. We urge you to step up for your children and be the father they need and deserve. If you need help, contact the Department of Social Services National Parenting Program that can assist in placing you on the right path to being a good father.
Coming up on Taking Social Services to the People.
Just about 3 days ago, you saw us working with Mr. Cyril Knowles. What a heartbreaking story, 77-year-old. We made some promises at Social Services that we are going to help him get out what I describe as a hellhole, and compassion and expedited processes and getting him to see the doctor, get the results. Because I'm going to tell you something, it was at least 24, 48 hours before my lightheadedness calmed down. The stench was really so high. I'm telling you, it was, but I don't know how he lived through that for the months that he lived there. Thank God he had shelter, but thank God we have been able to move the process, and today we're going to move him into the Persis Rogers home. But we made a commitment to him before we left. We said we'd get a wheelchair. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to meet with the head of the National Commission for people with disabilities, and let's get this wheelchair, because the next time that you see us, we're going to be moving him, and I want you to go along with this journey for what is happening in transforming a life of someone who was in a very desperate situation. I like this right here. For God so loved the world, John 3:16, he is giving Cyril Knowles another chance. You know why I believe? His attitude changed. He said he wasn't so nice to some people. See, when we ain't nice to some people, it catches up with you. Every decision you make today has a consequence tomorrow. And he, through his own admission, damaged some relationships. And the point of what we are saying in this program is that we have to be careful how we damage relationships. But there's always an opportunity when we make a mistake in our past that catches up with our present day and can destroy our future, that there's a way out. His attitude changed. And so today I came and we are into a welcoming office. As I said, this is Ms. Desiree Clark behind the table, and they working, and they don't mind me disrupting their work for a minute, because we called ahead of time to say that, listen, we need a wheelchair. What do we do? And I see that even in today's report and recent report that we have an increase in the number of people who are differently abled, who are disabled. So that's an indication that this team is even more and more important to our whole national outlook. As a matter of fact, this Professor Donaldo, he is audibly, what do you call that? He's audibly impaired?
Actually, he's fully deaf. So you can refer to them as deaf or hearing impaired, but he's fully deaf and he doesn't have his hearing aids on today, so he's reading my lips.
It's amazing. You are amazing. Say hello to the people of the Bahamas. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, let's get down to the business. And who? Miss Clark, Miss Desiree Clark. She heads this powerful unit, and you are getting an increase. There's an increase in demand. And the first thing you said when I called, you said, well, there is a process. We have to fill out a form. Speak to the process. You approved that we are going to get a wheelchair seat right here. Nice wheelchair. Wheelchair in red. I'm dancing with you. I know he can dance. You see this?
Thank you, Dr. Bartlett. So this is the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and we are giving government funds, and for every government penny that we have, we account for that because we work for the people of the Bahamas and we have to be accountable for their money. So when we give out a complimentary wheelchair, whether it's in New Providence or any family island, any island, rock or key, we register you as a person with disability with the commission because we are a data-driven department and it's very important that we capture data to let the government know where people with disabilities are. So we have you complete the registration form and Mr. Henfield works with that process of registration. So does Miss Amanda Campbell, so does Mrs. Nicole Nabi, and the rest of the team too. But once we register you, we put it into a database, we capture that information. And so we are happy to present Mr. Knowles with this wheelchair, and that will give him a better quality of life. So we're happy to do that. And like I said, we account for every penny that we distribute because we are a secretariat. Even though we are in the Ministry of Social Services, we are a secretariat governed by 15 commissioners, and those commissioners is headed by Dr. Anthony Hamilton, chairperson of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
I always say that it's so easy for us in our country to criticize, and we always will make mistakes and missteps and not be the best that we can. But I want to say that generally speaking, beginning with your attitude, it's always so pleasant. I mean, you could call Miss Clark any time of the night and she don't mind. She said, this is what I'm here to do, is to serve. But I believe it's the same with the team. I think it's an advantage that we have team players who share the zeal, the love, the joy in helping. And I know the greatest frustration is probably do you have enough to meet the demand?
Yeah, our frustration, of course, Dr. Bartlett, is the ability to reach every Bahamian on every island, rock, and key. For example, we would travel, had town hall meetings of some family islands, and the need is great. So whether the person requires a walker, because they have some mobility, but the walker stabilizes them, or they can't walk and they need a wheelchair, even crutches or canes, we want to make sure that we're not just Nassau-centric for the population in Nassau, but we are concerned about our brothers and sisters on every island. So what we do is, whatever the request is, we pack it up, send on the mailboat or the plane to the respective family island, and we work through the social worker, so the social worker can document that the client got whatever they needed. So we're familiar with going through the mailboat process, and even sending it on an airplane to get to the client on the family island.
I want to just say a quick word before we go out because Mr. Roll waiting for us. I can't. If I was him, I would already want to be there. But I want to ask both of you, what motivates you? I mean, you know, it's no joke. I've been working here with y'all, and I don't see y'all with a down day. Maybe when I'm not here. But what motivates you, and what is it that you would like the public to know, and what our role is in serving the differently abled?
Well, I could say for myself that we are a service-based section, this secretariat. My colleagues and I strongly believe that everyone needs help. And so we always display kindness and compassion and support because we know it is very important. Someone finding out that they are disabled, their parents, caregivers, it is a very hard hit. So we try to wow them each and every time to let them know that, first of all, we are here, we welcome them, and we go above and beyond to assist. So a servant's heart is what we all have. And when you think about what others are going through, it definitely puts things into perspective for yourself. There's so much to be grateful for. Things could always be better. However, we welcome everyone with open arms. If we can't assist, we will go way above to make sure that they get what they need. And we try our best never to leave anyone stranded. So I think for all of us, doing a great job, having that type of outlook and being led by someone who is so humble, who is so talented, who is so compassionate, and who is so idea-driven is a wonderful thing. So we shadow Mrs. Clark and we support her, and it makes all of us stronger and all of us better. And it makes the ministry, I think we are some of the shining stars.
Everything rises and falls on leadership, and you know, and she's telling the truth. And let me just confirm it. When I first came into the Ministry of Social Services, I was kind of here by myself in terms of support team and your leadership, your compassion, all the things that you talked about. She gave me a guide and a strong leader and administrator in Ms. Nabi, who is absolutely excellent. Let me say that I am grateful to you, and I'm grateful to you, Ms. Nabi, the way you just emulated all of who she is. And your own, just going the extra mile. I'm forever grateful. But speak to your role, because while she was working with me, she was right here doing the research. And like Ms. Campbell saying, they worked as a team to really service this special community. Speak to your perspective of why this is important and what fulfills you.
Well, I'm grateful to serve and also to add to Mrs. Campbell's regard. One of the greatest things we can do is empower persons with disabilities to make sure they are aware of their rights and make sure their rights are respected. Also, in this secretariat, one of the greatest things I find fulfilling when they come through the door is getting their primary data to help drive and monitor and measure what we do to make sure, again, wherever there are gaps, we can help and make sure they're supported fully.
Wonderful. Well, listen, I could stay here with y'all all day, but we got to get this, see? The red Rolls Royce ready to go. And we got and this have to be a lady, because he's a man, we taking it too. So next time you're going to see us, we're going to be in Pit Road. We're going to take him from the pit to the palace. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
You can now stay in tune with all things social services on any one of our social media platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, missed any of our Taking Social Services to the People programs? No worries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Bahamas Heartbeat, to watch all of our programs and special content. Social Services is the heartbeat of the nation, taking our clients from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
Children are a heritage from the Lord. That's right, you. Yeah, you, the one listening to this video. You are a special gift to your parents. Gifts are meant to be a source of happiness and joy. And we pray that you be that gift to your parents or guardians. We hear it time and time again that this generation is lost. In the Department of Gender and Family Affairs, in the Ministry of Social Services, Information, and Broadcasting, we don't believe that. We believe that every generation of youth and children faces their own challenges, and you are facing your own set of challenges, but we want you to know that we see you. We see those of you who are going to school and doing your best. We see those of you who are striving for greatness in your various endeavors. We see those of you who, in spite of the mistakes you've made, are working to be better versions of yourselves. We see you and we are pulling for you. So don't give up when things don't go your way. It's just life teaching you a lesson. Don't give in when the crowd pressures you. Standing on your own only makes you stronger. Do listen to your parents. They have been where you are and know just a little more than you do. Last but not least, do treat others as you would want to be treated.
Well, we're here to deliver this. Doesn't it look good? We're delivering on our promise. But I tell you, Mr. Knowles is here. Look, I could not go up them rocky paths again. No, child, I can tell you, find a smooth passage.
I tell him, man, no, don't take it through that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You told him don't take me through that?
Don't take it through that. It's hard for me. I can imagine it being hard for me. What do you think about you?
Yes, well, you see this. Did we promise that we would deliver?
Yes, ma'am. You live up to your promises.
Get a brand new bike, Mr. Knowles.
You see that?
Brand new.
Nah, brand new, but I gotta get me a three-wheeler. That's what I'm used to. That had me walking again. Okay. The three-wheeler had me walking again. Right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work on a three-wheeler so I can, while I'm there and I'm be able to be released during the day, I can try to sell some sodas and whatnot, try to, do something for myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's important to do something for yourself.
Yes.
But this is the starter because we don't have three-wheelers.
No.
Does this help?
We have. Yes, ma'am. Very well so.
Okay.
Very well so.
Okay, well, guess what? Oh my, you're the strong man, eh? Yeah?
That's the Hercules sounds of Steve Reeves.
You straight? Is this all?
No.
Well,
that's it.
Well,
there to go. On top of it, unopened.
On top of it, let's get him in his wheelchair.
Okay. All right. Let's.
Or do you want him to?
I'll take that.
So, because we're going into the Purchase Rogers home. So the next time we see you, we'll be at the Purchase Rogers home. So what's easier? We can make it, we've delivered.
Yeah, it's brand new.
It's brand new, so...
You want to take this and then however you...
Yes. You want driving this now, or you want...
No, whatever is better for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Let's just go in this, eh?
Yes.
And open this when you get to your new home. Yes.
Yeah. So,
all right. So,
right.
Mr. Clark, so we just take this down.
So nice, I can't destroy your niceness.
Yeah.
I can't destroy your niceness.
So, but how does this feel? How does this feel that you're moving? No, but you're moving now into a new home.
Well, it feels A-okay, okay? It feels A-okay because you don't find too very many people that knows what niceness is all about now. And now that I have found you, how can I forget you? I can't forget you just that easy. It would be a long time before I can forget you because I have a long time in front of me with people being nice to me.
Amen. But guess what? You talk about me, and I appreciate that so much. But it really takes a team.
Yes.
It's the team down at Social Services, and we're going to meet you down there tomorrow. Now, I'm going to leave you here.
Yes.
When you get in the car to Purchase Rogers.
Yes, ma'am.
Our Good Samaritan is going to make sure that you're there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then a team of our professionals from social services.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll meet you there tomorrow and make sure you're comfortable.
Thank you very much.
And then I want to see you in your new red.
Yeah, my new Maserati.
Your new Maserati.
Yes.
That looks like a good Maserati.
Yes, it is.
I said, look here, that red is for the blood of Jesus.
Oh, boy.
So you
amen.
keep praying, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're not going to hold you up anymore. We are so happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Roll, thank you so much for being like a relative, but you just represent the kingdom so well.
That's good.
You would think you were a relative. Yes. So now you almost relieved. What's going to happen after he settles into Persis Rogers?
Well, definitely, I would do my endeavor best to, keep check on him and to keep tabs on him, make sure that if there's anything at all that I still can assist with, I would definitely be somebody that they can contact outside of him being there.
Yes, ma'am.
Just being available.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go. Let's. I've never seen you in this one. Let me see how you make it. Let's take a little ride down with him, and the next time you see him, he's going to be in the it's late, eh? In the Persis Rogers home.
This is how I move.
Huh?
This is how we normally move.
Oh, you move like that?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's really getting your...
Then I move backwards. I turn the wheelchair backwards, and then I move backwards. I look over my shoulders, and get going.
Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, one step at a time, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what that footwork is doing.
That's right.
One step at a time.
And some days I lose my way, but you never let me wander too far from your grace. One step at a time you lead me, even when the road is slow. I know you walk beside me, that's all I need to know. I'll follow where you're guiding, though I don't see the signs. I'm safe within your mercy, one step at a time.
You can now stay in tune with all things social services on any one of our social media platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, missed any of our Taking Social Services to the People programs? No worries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Bahamas Heartbeat, to watch all of our programs and special content. Social Services is the heartbeat of the nation, taking our clients from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
Welcome back. Just as we were taking a break, Mr. Knowles, he has found his legs. And so you were trying to get in something. So, and let me just say, honor your mother and your father, so your days will be long. Don't get tired of me saying that. We have more crime because we're not honoring our mother and father. We have more poverty because we are not honoring our mother and our father. It doesn't say how the mother and father is, whether they good or bad. It's honoring the office. So I say, sir, Mr. Knowles, because he is an elderly gentleman that calls for honor. And so you were about to say something before we took the break.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, let me say, they were trying to pass a law the other day on marijuana, legalizing marijuana in our community among our young men and women. It is right now not so, but right now, how many young men or women you find that is not involved in marijuana or cocaine? How many of us are not giving our life away to drugs, prostitution, all these kind of things that are of nothing to us?
I want you to hold that thought only because of time, because it's very powerful. Because the greatest empires fell, whether it's the Greeks, whether it's the Roman empires, fell because of moral decay. And so you make a very important point. The armies didn't beat the Romans Empire. Immorality did. And we are, to your point, very uncomfortable. But in the context of this journey and the few minutes that we have left, I want you to, Mr. Roll, just very quickly, what was this journey like? You describe it, and I know you had a call this morning. You started to tell me on your way here, but go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, and God's blessing to all your phenomenal team, and staff, and especially to you, Miss Bartlett. I would say God's angel in facilitating this end goal. I'm just merely a spark in the catalyst of what has transpired in the life of Mr. Knowles here, and his road to redemption. Because at the end of the day, none of us in this Bahamas, in this world, by a long shot, are perfect. And I would say to all that are witnessing this, there is power in redemption. As long as there is life, there is indeed hope, and that has always been something that I believe that you've always preached from. I've seen you from I was a young teenager. What I would like to say is that this is not just social service. What we're witnessing here is God's service, because he says that when you serve others, when you serve your fellow man, you are actually doing service to him. So I would like for everyone to know, quite honestly, this is actually the highest office. This outranks everything that is constitutionalized. So we are to look at the social service team as actually God's service, because their calling is actually higher. To see persons that are in decrepit or fallen state or broken state, and to reach down to help one. And this is the greatest commandment. Love one another. This is what Jesus said. This is the greatest commandment. He says it's not in your preaching and your shouting. It's not in no. He said, by doing this, that's how men will know that you are his disciple. So, Miss Bartlett, and to her team, and also to everyone that has reached out. And quite earnestly, I've being such a very low-key person myself, I've always shied away from the spotlight. And anyone witnessing this, and I thought on this, and I prayed. I was like, God, what really, because it took me through a journey and through a process to I would say, die to self, because had Mr. Knowles, he actually insisted that I record this, that someone should know. I said, you sure? I said, I wouldn't, this ain't my thing. I would help as much as I can possibly help. No, he said, no. He said, you have a phone? He said, record this, somebody has to know. And because of the spirit of humility and just being obedient, I said, okay, all right. And so it really assisted me, but it gave me an epiphany, I would say a shock value to myself, the amount of persons that saw physically, and I'm not just giving you a story, I am actually showing you, and to have, not gotten a response. But God bless them all. Everybody has a journey, everyone has a hurdle. So on the outside looking in, you don't know what people are going through, and no matter where they sit in what sector of society, regardless of their state. And so this has just only prompted me, if this experience only inspires just one person. The Word of God says that the angels rejoice when one come into the kingdom, just one. And so if this whole experience that you're seeing inspires one act of kindness, one act of gratitude, one act of faithfulness, because I think this is but the 7 week, almost 6 going to 7 weeks that I've been on this journey praying, and I had sleepless nights about it. And there were times that I honestly was weary. But somehow, the Holy Spirit would touch me, and I would just, feel strength to keep going. And I know that God honors faithfulness. And so I would say to you all, thank God for each and every one of you that has given so relentlessly. You can never be paid by men for the amount of work that you are doing in each of your respective places. And I pray that everyone that sees it, if it's opening the door for someone, simply saying good morning to somebody, or going the extra mile when you're about to shut them doors and locking those bank doors and these institutions in front of the face of people. I've seen it so it makes me sad for securities at these different door places and won't even come and help the elderly into these institutions. I have, quite honestly, I've lost a lot of hope in humanity from the way that we used to be and how I was brought up. So in my own little way, I pray that it really makes a difference to somebody.
I think it already has, and we want to thank you for hanging in there and going through the process with patience. And final word, Ms. Hall, because we are at the end of the program, and what would you say to the people of the Bahamas? This is not a fight. I love how you talked about this is the highest calling. I always say social service. I don't understand why people look down on social services. Listen to me. This is the heartbeat of the nation. We touch everybody. We touch you. We touch me. It doesn't matter where we are. See, when you don't understand the value of something, you undervalue it. And I was the other day in with Miss Wright, her transition for her mother, and I was just prompted, Ms. Shallow, to say, this is the royal family of social services. We are created in the image of God. You and I, anything that God establishes royal. And that's the behavior that we should have. But anyhow, go ahead, Ms. Hall, because you only got 1 minute left.
I think we should have more humility and be more kind to one another. Just seeing Mr. Knowles come out of his conditions is a beautiful sight to see, because now he has a glow. I don't know if any one of you can see it, but he has a glow. He went from rough waters to calmer waters, in a sense, and he looks like he's at peace. And I'm very happy for him. I'm happy that he's having that experience.
And Ms. Shallow, this is not a fight for just social services. What do you say to the people of the Bahamas? How do we get on board?
There is no greater gift than to be of service to mankind, and no greater reward than to do it well. I am a servant of God, and that makes the difference. We are all here to help one another, and this is a ministry. Social services is a ministry. A ministry. where you can come and you can get food assistance, you can get rent assistance, financial assistance for a number of things. But there's also a spiritual component that I would always interject with every client that comes into my presence. And so that's why I was so much led to pray for Mr. Knowles in his situation and saw the hand of God move to bring him to where he was and where he is now.
Mr. Knowles, just your final comment. And, I think we should say, before you do that, let's say thanks to Fine Threads, as you told me they called you, just very briefly.
Yes, I want to say thank you to the amazing staff at Fine Threads, and thank you for that tie.
Now we bought that. They just gave the good service.
Yeah. And Miss the lovely Miss Katie Ann, and so she, I would like for Fine Threads to know that you have a precious gem. So everyone should have an employee like that. In fact, she's an assistant. So she is very, very, very polite and very, very kind. And so I just want to say to them thank you for their charity towards me. I'm really grateful, and also by extension to Mr. Knowles. So I will be stopping by. I am one of your customers, by the way, and I always love your selections and your prices. So keep them prices right where you keep them, so I can always be buying my nice suits.
All right, very good. Okay, but which you still didn't say, but I'll say it for you in the interest of time. Y'all got blessed with something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can forget that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I just got caught up with the tie.
1 second.
Yeah, okay. Of course, my tie, and of course, today, I didn't expect it. So I was told that I could come and pick out a nice suit. And also Mr. Knowles as well.
Okay.
In addition, so I just was thankful.
That's when you talk about humanity and love. Mr. Knowles, I just want you to end with what you said. Mr. Knowles, and I want you to be brief, because we have to say bye. Oh, Lord, they say 1 minute. See that? So you say this in 10 seconds. You said you don't want this to be your final stop.
No, I don't. I don't want this. I don't want this to be my final stop in the old folks' home. And someday I get to the point where I should die and be buried out of social.
Where you want to go?
Where I want to go? I want to continue my legacy, my journey. I'm a mechanic. I'm a journeyman mechanic, and I do not want that to stop there. I spent money to go to school and learn how to become a mechanic.
He still has a dream. As long as we have life, we have purpose. Never get up and don't know where you're going in life. Your purpose preserves you. But I think the overarching message here is we have to do it together. It's not an individual journey that we can go on. Let's connect those of us who have similar vision, similar values, who believe that values represent the boundaries of freedom. If we want to be free and we don't have to have people living in their cars on the beach, it isn't only the government. It's not where it starts, actually. It starts with our personal decisions. Every decision today we have a consequence tomorrow, and it starts with family. Let's get family stronger. This is taking social services to the people. We're moving our clients from dependency, self-sufficiency, to economic empowerment. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
This has been a production of the Ministry of Social Services, the Heartbeat of the Nation, where we move our clients from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.